students, good evening. Of course, I cannot begin without the confirmation of whether I am audible or not. So if anybody can very quickly write in the chat box, that will be of great help. So if I may just know as to whether I'm audible or not, and if that's a heads up, we're going to begin with the very controversial topic that we have for today, but it's very important that we address it as well. So let me just very quickly go to the chat box, see if anybody has been supportive enough to be able to write as to my audibility, and then is when we begin. Give me just a moment and we're then going to start with. Perfect. All right. So I know it's been a long time no see sort of a situation here. There were these 2-3 weeks wherein we were meeting almost every 2-3 days, but then it's almost been a week since we did not. Now, fret not, I was only trying to assemble content. So sometimes, even the makers need like a little bit of break. Now that I've come back, I have gotten some really cool, engaging, and very high-spirited topics for you, which are not only going to help you from an academic perspective, they're also going to help you from a personality development perspective altogether, right? And one such very important topic that needed to be addressed. The reason why I say it needed to be addressed was because you must have all seen what happened this Sunday. It was a surprise for many of you. A lot of you knew what is coming, but none was prepared for what was actually going to be witnessed, and that is, of course, the AILET mock. Now that we have started on that journey as well, it's important, like we said, that we talk about it. Because a lot of times talking just helps. It helps calm our nerves. And that's very important in a high-stake examination, in a high-octane examination like the CLAT and the AILET. So without any further ado, let us begin with what we have. CLAT versus AILET. Can we prepare for both of those two with the same length of preparation? So while you're preparing for CLAT, do you think it is also going to be a very good idea to start preparing for AILET? Because both of those are two of the most reputed, the most coveted examination, the very examination which we long for. We want to be in those universities, and nothing at all can, in any way distract us by saying that there could be a better college than, of course, the two of these. And since both of these are at loggerheads, that is, दोनों की पढ़ाई एकदम ही अलग है. They are not of the same syllabus. They are not of the same pattern. So how should we go about? Should we only focus on one, or should we be focusing on the both of it? So let us find out the clash, the war between the law entrances, and can we really prep for it together, or do we need distinct ideas too, or distinct, practice, like a proper demarcation, a proper bifurcation to actually begin with? So now I like to call it one prep, two trophies. So beginning with the first question that I began with, can we do the preparation together? My answer to this is yes. You can do the preparation together, because both of these examinations are nothing but one prep and two trophies. You prepare for one, you are automatically prepared for the other one. It's like, two birds with one stone. That's how the preparation is. But yes, you will have to be mindful. So if you're preparing for two examinations which are different, so you have to understand that they are different in terms of the approach, the strategy, the structure. But your preparation streak remains the same. And a little bit of tweak and a little bit of, importance juggling from one paper to the other is all that you need for you to be able to focus which of the following is going to be the most important requirement. So let's do today a full comparison and a smart study plan as well. Now, whenever you're trying to be, whenever you're stuck in a situation like this, just try and imagine it's like running a marathon versus running a 100-meter sprint. Do you think the preparation is going to be the same? No. The preparation and the stakes are going to be different, but there are going to be some groundwork which will remain the same for both of it. That is, you need to practice running. So here again, you know that if a couple of ground rules are kept intact, that is, if they are taken care of, थोड़ा सा strategy push होगा, थोड़ा सा plunge में अंतर आएगा, थोड़ा सा focus change होगा, but more or less पूरा का पूरा road map आपका same ही रहेगा. So let's get the right game plan so that we can ace both of those exams. Beginning with, let's first try and understand how they differ and how should we be balancing. Starting with the legal. क्लैट में जो लीगल आता है वो पैसेज बेस्ड होता है, इन्फरेंस हेवी होता है, दैट इज वी नीड टू डू अ लॉट ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. एलेट इज मोर प्रिंसिपल फैक्ट एमसीक्यू ओल्ड स्कूल, राइट? सो जैसे पहले पैटर्न्स में रहता था, अगेन इवन इफ दे वांटिंग टू आस्क यू सम रैंडम क्वेश्चंस हियर एंड देयर, you have to be very thorough with the legal theory to know what they're trying to be talking about. क्लैट थोड़ा पैसेज बेस्ड है, इलोंगेटेड रहता है, तो पैसेज में स्टोरी चलती है, नरेटिव चलता है, and even if you're not very solid with, of course, the legal fundamentals, you will still know how to go ahead with it. So how should your strategy be? The smart strategy says practice both formats 4:1. For every 4 passages of CLAT that you do one of ALET. Now, why are we doing lesser for ALET? Because ALET allows you to only get to one college with a limited set of seats. CLAT, on the other hand, lists you to all the nationals. So you know that your candidature stands more of a chance when it comes to CLAT, which is why हम लोग CLAT को ज़्यादा, we tend to lean forward towards the CLAT prep, of course. English, again, CLAT में it is inference heavy English. RCs पे RCs आए रहते हैं बस, right? ALET में barring RCs, there is of course vocabulary also, and then there is grammar base also. So maybe for CLAT you might not want to study sentence structure के लिए, तो obviously grammar, vocab, all these things become important. That is to be able to understand reading and to develop on those concepts. But specific questions अगर हमको करने हैं, तो yes, in ALET you will have to do this. You'll also have to do parts of speech. You will also have to do figures of speech, right? So how to balance it? Let's do 1 RC, 5 vocab grammar questions daily, so that we know for a fact that nothing stays in any way untouched. Next, quants देखते हैं. CLAT में अपना DI heavy है. Now I know for a fact that आते 12 ही नंबर का है, but those 12 marks are the very deciding factors as to which college are we going to go to. ALET, on the other hand, is going to go literally into quants topic जो बोलते हैं, maths topics. So you have to be very thorough with your percentage, with your ratio, with your SICI, etc. All things that ways. So how are you going to do? 2 days a week, brush basics, DI, ratios, etc. So at least 2 days a week, make sure that you're going to get your fundamentals right. Ultimately, इसमें भी fundamentals ही लगेंगे. But DI के बहुत ही proper engaging sets होते हैं, complex sets होते हैं, that you will have to focus only from the CLAT's perspective. GK, current affairs, again, is something which is, since it's in a reading comprehension format, again, it's going to be very heavy. They are issue based. Here you have a mix of current affairs as well as static GK that we have. So weekly CA is what you're going to do, which is the current affair, and one static theme every 7 days, so that by the time it is December, you know how many topics it is that you've already completed. In fact, you would have completed all of it. The mock culture, please understand, CLAT typically is the kind of paper which is going to ask for a deep dive analysis because it's long in format. ALET will test you on speed. You know for a fact that the number of questions are so many. If you don't have a good speed to yourself, ALET will suffer. And it's MCQ dense. So there's smaller questions, and then you have a lot of questions to themselves. Unlike, CLAT, wherein there is a passage and then there are 5 questions from the passage. ALET is not like that. ALET is like 5 questions, 5 different arenas altogether. So here is where the MCQ burden comes in. So alternate your mocks. Please make sure that CLAT versus ALET every 3 to 4 mocks. Make it a 4:1 ratio here again. For every 4 CLAT mocks, you're going to do 1 ALET mock just to be sure of what needs to be done. Let's very quickly see what are the pros of preparing together. Starting with the overlap is real. Trust me guys, ALET हो या CLAT हो, they are nothing but brother from another mother. सब कुछ सेम ही है. क्वेश्चन का फॉर्मेटिंग अलग है, इसीलिए स्ट्रैटेजी अलग हो जाएगी बस. और कुछ इतना फंडामेंटली रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ी बदल दिया. They have not changed the very foundation of what it's all about. So 80 to 70 to 80% of the content is pretty much the same. English ho, reasoning ho, legal base ho ya GK ho. Yes, the performer will change, but the syllabus is not going to change altogether. So you prepare for one, you're automatically prepared for the other one. One prep, double shot. Always remember this. Maximum ROI on your effort. You make sure that you have struck the right balance. CLAT, ALET. and the kind of ROI that is, because so many times from ALET's learning do you get better in CLAT, and so many times with the CLAT learning you get better with ALET. So it is always going to be NLUs versus the CLAT NLUD via ALET. So yes, that is pretty real. Builds versatility. Now, if you are somebody who's able to prepare for two different, very important formats, you are a very skilled, very versatile person. So CLAT makes you deep, ALET makes you fast. So here is where, you tend to think deeper. But with ALET, it's the speed that comes up. Together, it's called the Einstein with a stopwatch. Next, keeps the preparation spicy. No monotony, no mundane feeling comes in, because when you keep doing CLAT on and on and on again, you're like, you're so bored doing the same thing. But then when the ALET comes up, it just brings up a little bit of spice. You're like, okay, finally we've broken free from, this regimen that we had of CLAT, and now we're doing something fun. So tired of CLAT, switch to ALET MCQs. It keeps the burnouts away, of course. And mock duality, better instinct. The more mocks you do, the more variety of mocks you do, your instinct begins to get, of course, better. So one teaches you pressure handling, the other trains you sniper style, speed, accuracy. So these were the pros that we had. Let's look at the cons. That is, now what are the negatives of it? Because obviously there are two sides of the same coin, so there will have to be negatives as well. Now, two different temperaments. You can't approach CLAT with an ALET mentality, and you cannot approach ALET with a CLAT mentality, because both of them are the kind of papers which are structurally very different. Not conceptually, but structurally. So CLAT is a slow burn, analyze deeply sort of a paper. ALET is a fast and furious, no time to blink sort of a paper. Different questions format. Legal in CLAT is a chill story time. You read it and there's like a proper, somebody comes into the house, somebody shoots somebody, there's like a proper narrative to ourselves. ALET hits with the old school principle, so don't confuse. You just have the principle with a tad bit of a brief that's given, and we have to know what the situation is going to be all about. ALET brings grammar and quants, which is pure maths. So now, obviously, ignore these at your own risk. You have to know that these will be extras that you will have to, of course, be focusing on. Mark scores will yo-yo, which means that once you get better with one, the other will suffer, and vice versa. And it's a fact, because it will take you time to be able to fine tune your strategy, to be able to know that, okay, this is the way I need to be going around. Syllabus feels never ending. Now that you're preparing for two examinations, you're like, you've taken on too much. You've bitten more than you can chew. And this tends to mentally take a toll inside, because it just keeps aggravating. So especially if you try to perfect both, you must know when to pause and pivot. So make sure that you're taking active rest, and make sure that you are changing from one syllabus to the other as well. Now, how should the weekly plan be? Now, this is just a rough gaze. It's not something that you need to follow. But whatever be the kind of syllabus that you have, it should be a combination of 4:1. For every fourth preparation of CLAT, add something of ALET as well. So let's see just an example week as to how it should be. Maybe Monday, you can get to CLAT style, legal, and CR, because both of those two are very important and highly scoring sections. On Tuesday, maybe you can jump up and do a little bit of ALET, legal, and vocab and grammar, because both of these will automatically help for CLAT as well. Then maybe on a Wednesday, you can do one static and the entire of the English section, so that both the papers are being taken care of. Then on a Thursday, we can have ALET section practice plus the CLAT prep. So we are not going just one, we are doing for both of it. On a Friday, you can do quants basic, and of course the reading and the revision that's going to be there. Well, the editorial reading stays the same, guys, for all. That's going to be something that you're going to do all throughout. On a Saturday, it could be like a mixed day, wherein you're doing most of the doubt clearing and some speed drills, that is put in a stopwatch and see how well do you want to perform. And on Sunday, of course, the mock test and the full analysis. Please keep alternating in the same ratio between CLAT and ALET. So it should be a mix of both, of course, with CLAT taking more space, and the ALET getting along in the preparation. Now, what should you focus more on? Beginning with, if you are a strong reader, so if you want to begin and you're a strong reader, your reading is your forte, reading is your game already, CLAT. If you think you're quick with the MCQs, that is, speed is your forte, speed is not a problem for you, start with ALET first. If you're starting early, that is, if you're starting today, you have a lot of time to yourself. You can balance both. Struggling with grammar and vocab, prioritize ALET because CLAT does not, of course, ask at all. Just see the kinds of questions and then make sure that you've pinpointed and studied those topics. You hate maths? No luck there, buddy. Maths is something which is, of course, going to be asked in both of it. So my advice is that you don't need two separate preps. All you need is one powerful prep with dual lens. So your single line prep will make sure CLAT and ALET both have been taken care of, right? One is for depth, one is for speed. You train like a lawyer, but you strike like a ninja. That's how we always go. So is it wise to do the preparation? Absolutely. Because the syllabus is not different. Why would you want to put 2 times the effort for something which is the same? All what you need is just direction and structure. If both of those two things are intact, there is no stopping for you to give and qualify either of the exams. You will have your name on the list, be it Bangalore or be it Delhi. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you guys next time again with another interesting topic. If you feel that this content was relatable and that it's helped you, you know what to do. Please click on the like button. If there's more such content that you want me to make, or if there's something that's bothering you and that you want me to do something about it, write in the comment box. Share it with other like-minded friends who are also going through the same ordeal and that they want clarity of what needs to be done. And with that, I shall sign off. Sayonara. I will see you guys next time again with another topic and maybe some more myth busting that ways. Have a great day, y'all.